Bill, I swear to God, if this podcast self-destructs. Welcome back to the Out of Touch podcast. I'm Chris, that's Bill, and today we are watching Mission Impossible 3 from, I want to say 2005. I should have checked.
I think it said 6. I could be wrong.
2006.
I didn't think to check.
It was around that. Directed by J.J. Abrams. So, Bill, what did you think of Mission Impossible 3?
It's all right.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of funny watching this movie because, like, if anything, it was, like, the weirdness surrounding this movie with, like, you know, Tom Cruise being like, Scientology, and I love Katie Holmes, and all that stuff kind of came out around this movie that kind of overshadowed it.
Suppose so.
Because there's all that stuff. But yeah, I mean, it's Mission Impossible 3. It's like the first one to kind of really put Mission Impossible in the direction it eventually goes in, you know, more or less. Because let's face it, 1 is like a weird continuation to the show, sort of. 2 is just completely weird. And then like 3 is kind of like a cool, like, action movie. I mean, they're all cool action movies, but, like, I don't know. It just seems like has more of a clear vision.
I mean, there's a moment later on in the movie when Tom Cruise's character has to do a crazy stunt in order to do a thing, and it does feel like, yeah, that's eventually what these movies become, is Tom Cruise has to do an insane thing.
Yeah, you know, it's been a while since I've seen Mission Impossible 3, and...
I had never seen this movie before.
That's right.
I'm literally watching these movies for the first time each time we've done this.
Yeah. I mean, I've seen 1 through 3. I've never seen 4 through any of the other ones. So
And that's when the franchise apparently gets really good.
yeah, that's apparently where it gets good. But yeah, you know, it's interesting because you know, the way this movie begins is like kind of like oh, Ethan Hunt, he's like semi-retired, I guess, or he's like just like a trainer now. He doesn't go on field missions.
Yep.
He's about to get married.
Yep.
Still got his like spy skills, but he doesn't do that anymore.
Until one of his proteges gets abducted.
Yes, which I'm pretty sure it was that lady from that TV show that J.J. Abrams made.
And I saw it was Carrie Russell, so yes.
Yeah, which is kind of like a bit of a gruesome death with like the explosion in her head and her eyes are like all different directions, and I'm like, oh my god.
They fried her brain.
Yeah, it's pretty gruesome, but Mission Impossible 3 is definitely like, you know, until they made like 4 through whatever, I was just like, yeah, it's probably the best one, but...
I'm sure that's no longer the case.
Yeah, so who knows?
I suppose this was a much-needed stabilization after the very bizarre, weird Part 2.
Yeah, definitely.
And if you need someone to stabilize a franchise, I guess you call in J.J. Abrams, but for the love of God, don't have him direct another one, because then... things go bad.
Well, as far as I know, I don't think J.J. Abrams ever directed another Mission Impossible movie.
No.
But I think he is a producer.
Yeah, like
on
an
the
executive producer,
franchise.
Bad Robot's still involved.
Yeah.
I think the next one was Part 4 done by Brad Bird?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, and I know there's a couple of them were done by one guy, I don't know, but yeah, this is the only one he did.
Yeah.
Because if he did another one, it would have been a disaster.
I guess that's true.
Just like with Star Wars and Star Trek. He made the one. All right. But then he made another one.
That's right.
And it all went to hell.
Somehow Palpatine returned.
Yeah, I don't know. You know, Mission Impossible 3 is pretty cool. Like, I think it has a really good villain. He is just 100% super evil. Like, and I kind of love it. Like, when he gets captured and then, like, he wakes up, he's just like, what's your name? I'm going to kill everybody you love.
Do you have a wife?
Yeah.
I'm gonna find her. I'm gonna hurt her.
Yeah. It's just like, oh, God. Like,
The late Philip Seymour Hoffman?
yeah. Yeah. Which he's pretty good. I mean, I want to say like the weird MacGuffin in this movie is kind of
Stupid.
Yeah, it's like dumb and like vague what exactly it
They
is.
literally make a joke at the end where it's like, what is it? That's such a J.J. fucking Abrams thing to do.
It is.
It's like, what is it? It's
Yeah.
a mystery box.
I guess that's exactly what it is, isn't it? It's a stupid mystery box.
Motherfucker.
Loves that mystery box. I will say.
I mean, Simon Pegg speculates on what it might be.
Yeah.
but we never know for sure.
Just speculation is just like insanely stupid too.
Oh yeah,
It's just like it's like this weird like
it didn't even have to
God
be-
particle or something.
You know, all it had to do was just be like, oh, it's government secrets, blah blah, blah. Just something.
It's a bioweapon. What does it do?
They did that before already. Though.
I guess so. But what else could it be?
I don't know. It could have been like, oh no, it's compromising codes. It's the nuclear codes. I don't know.
It's the Philosopher's Stone.
Oh my god. I don't know, but just let it at least be something. I mean, I guess it doesn't matter because the real urgency in regards to Ethan Hunt is his wife.
Yes. Which, you know, bad guy, which I always forget his name. It's like a very generic, dumb name.
I watched this movie this morning and I do not even remember.
Yeah, I watched it last night and I don't remember.
I just like, it's Philip Seymour Hoffman.
Yeah.
He's the bad guy.
Exactly. I will say, I like Lawrence Fishburne in this movie. He's like this almost like no nonsense, like, you know, head of, I guess like the IMF.
He does a great job of making you think he's actually bad.
I know.
But he's not. The other guy is.
I know. And it's like you think he's the bad guy, but like he's just like very much of like
He's just
I
by
follow
the book.
the rules
he's
and
just
shit.
He's just no nonsense and by the book.
Yeah. Like
And you know what? I fell for it.
Yeah.
I bought it. I'm not
yeah.
gonna lie, I bought it.
Yeah, definitely because like you really think like he's the bad guy, like you
And
know
the other guy, he's helping Tom Cruise. You think, oh yeah, he's the good guy. Oh no.
I mean the girl that, you know, gets killed at the beginning of the movie kind of almost implies that he's the bad guy.
Well, I think
like,
what's his name? The real bad guy planted like fake information.
yeah.
So he wasn't sure. It's like, did she give you the real information or my fake information?
Yeah. Pretty
You know,
nuts.
he could have gotten away with it if he just didn't go see Tom Cruise in that one scene.
Yeah, seriously. 'Cause Tom Cruise had no idea.
He really didn't.
But
They had him completely fooled.
yeah, this movie has like a bit of like a swerve with the way it starts with like, you know, they show like Tom Cruise's like wife getting like murdered pretty much at the beginning of the movie.
Now, I wasn't even sure who the hell that was because
Yeah.
I haven't seen this before, but also, yeah. But then, twist. It was a mask.
Yeah. It's one of those elaborate masks.
It was kind of cool seeing them actually make one. It was kind of interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of neat with like their weird advanced technology and like scanning people and all that stuff.
The process they have to do to copy the voice.
Yeah, it's kind of funny when he's like, read this card. It's just like nonsense words. I guess like the big thing in this movie is like that jump in Shanghai.
Yeah.
Like the first, look at Tom Cruise being crazy. Like,
How much of that was a real stunt?
I want to assume he probably really did jump off the building. I don't know if he actually like swung up and then like cut the line to fall on top of it.
No,
But like,
that's movie magic.
I would assume like he really did jump off the building and possibly even
'Cause, like,
swang.
All the later movies are known for their crazy stunts
Yeah.
that Tom Cruise is also doing.
Yeah.
So I don't know if this was like this was the first instance of that or not.
I want to say he probably really did jump off that building though. Like,
I mean, if it was one of the later ones, he absolutely did.
yeah. I don't know, like Tom Cruise, he's like a crazy like stuntman slash like actor. Like pretty nuts. Who knows? Like, you know, I know like in some of the other movies, like he literally like broke bones like doing the stunt and they just like keep it in the movie and stuff.
It's probably the best looking shot.
Yeah. Like, so who knows? Like, I know when he like falls on the window on the building, it actually like cracks and I'm like, was that supposed to happen? Or is that just like how it goes?
No, because we saw that from like the inside.
Yeah.
That's just part of the movie.
Okay. Yeah, it's interesting. You know, they're trying to take down vague bad guy who has like weird, ambiguous mystery box thing.
Yeah, I forget what they say he does.
Yeah. It's just like a weird, I don't know, like, you know, black market arms dealer. He's selling
Trafficker.
something to, you know, some Middle Eastern dealer or something.
He's in Vatican City
Yeah,
for some reason.
because, I don't know, fancy stuff in Vatican City. It's weird too, because, like, you know, we get the return of Luther, who, you know, is the computer guy. Then this introduces Simon Pegg, which, you know, I know returns in all the other movies from here.
Yeah.
But I know he has like a relatively small role in this movie compared to what he actually does in the other movies.
Yeah, he has like
So-
the one scene early on and he doesn't show up again until like the third act.
Yeah, it's kind of like, I don't know, like the Q of this movie a little bit. I guess because he's like
already-
working on like
he was
the
tech
hard
support.
drive. Yeah.
He was just tech support.
Yeah, I guess he wasn't really inventing anything. He was just like trying to get information from like the hard drive that they found at the beginning of the movie.
Yeah.
I don't know, like this is like probably the only J.J. Abrams movie besides like Star Trek 2008 that I think is like good. Never really saw Super 8 though.
Did anyone?
I don't know. Like,
I mean, I liked Force Awakens when it came out.
yeah.
I have no real immediate desire to ever rewatch it because each movie made me hate the movie that came out before it more.
I mean, J.J. Abrams is kind of like this weird thing in Hollywood where it's just like he's like an executive producer on like a lot of things, but then when you look at his like actual like filmography, you're like, huh, it's weird. Like he's made a lot of like sequels to stuff, but
Yeah.
not really too many like own like independent movies. And I guess like, you know, he was more of like a TV show guy
Yeah.
back then, like, you know, Lost and
Ugh.
other things, you know. So
Yeah. What was that show? Alias or something?
yeah, I think so. That was him.
I don't know.
But yeah,
I don't know. J.J. Abrams is kind of he's been in hiding for the last several years.
he is, and I don't know. In some weird ways, like, you know, you see him and like when he talks, it's just like, it's like, why is this guy like so liked? I mean, not so much anymore, but
I mean, you know, he's not like a bad person or anything, but
yeah,
he's just kind of a hack.
yeah, he's just. I just remember seeing that thing, and like I've seen it before with like other directors, where like, you know, he's one of two directors that I know that got the label of like the next Spielberg question mark.
Yeah.
Because like I know M. Night Shyamalan got that label early on in his career, and we all know where the trajectory of the Shamhammer's career went. And then J.J. Abrams also got that like, you know, question mark on his career
Yeah.
kind of at the beginning, but also like, you know, he never really did too many like original things, at least when it comes to his like filmography of movies he directed.
And even
Yeah.
that was just an homage to Spielberg stuff.
Yeah.
So it's debatable how original.
Yeah, I mean, like, I guess, you know, his TV stuff probably definitely was original, but, like, you know, for somebody who is thought of as being, like, this, like, big-time director, it's kind of, like, weird how little movies he's actually made. Like, so it's just, like, it's, like, kind of odd. It's like, yeah, he's kind of, like, more of a behind-the-scenes type of guy.
Yeah, I mean, he tried to seem like he's like a big blockbuster auteur like a Spielberg, but at the end of the day, he's nothing more than a hired gun.
Yeah.
Because that's sort of what he devolved into pretty quickly.
Yeah, pretty much. And I guess I'll give credit where credit's due, like, you know, for like a behind the scenes guy who's like mainly like a writer and a producer. You know, a lot of times when those guys transition to like, you know, filming a movie themselves or directing it, it becomes like a complete disaster, like, you know, The Mummy and
Dark Phoenix.
Dark Phoenix. So, I mean, like, he's competent enough that he can, like, make a movie, honestly, but
I'm sure he probably directed on TV too before he jumped into film.
Yeah.
So that's kind of good training, directing on television, then moving to features.
Yeah.
It's like a cheap film school almost.
Yeah, I don't know though. With like a guy that has like that type of reputation where like people are saying he was like the next Spielberg, I always just felt like it was never really like earned from like just watching like his movies, because it's just like
No.
why didn't he ever make like smaller budget movies or anything too? Like all his movies have been like pretty high budget, except for like maybe that Super 8 movie, but
That's debatable. It could have been
Yeah.
100 million plus. I don't know.
But I mean, like, it's weird. He went from like Star Trek to Star Wars, and I guess in some ways he ruined both. But
'Cause he made more than one. He should have.
yeah,
He could have gotten out of the Star Wars sequel trilogy completely unscathed if he just like said, "No, I'm not doing 9."
yeah. I mean, he made the one everybody liked, and then the next one was like divisive, you know?
And then he made the one everybody hates.
Yeah,
If he just was like, "No, I'm not. Look, good luck. I'm going to fleece Warner Brothers. See ya."
but you know what's funny about this movie, though? In some ways, because like we always have a joke of like, you know, oh, don't have J.J. Abrams end things, but you know, this technically was like an ending to Mission Impossible.
True. And the ending felt like an ending because
Yeah.
Ethan Hunt he saves his wife. It's kind of vague whether or not he'll stay in action or not, and he kind of walks off with her. not into the sunset, but figuratively into the sunset.
Yeah.
And it's sort of like maybe he'll do more, maybe he won't. And if there was no more, you have a satisfying ending. He gets his wife, he lives happily ever after, the end.
Yeah, I mean, like, it's kind of a weird ending where, like, it's just like, it's like his wife knows about his, like, secret world now. His wife just murdered 2 people, and I guess she's fine. Like,
It was self-defense.
it was self-defense, and, I mean, those
were,
guys
like-
were pretty scary.
Yeah.
So,
You know,
it's all right. But,
never feel bad about killing people that are trying to murder you when they're like evil terrorists.
yeah. Like, it's kind of like, that one scene with the guy Luther, and like he's just like, he's like, oh, like I would never have her meet you guys, but she meets him at the end. It's fun, and it's like, yeah, it's like the ending to Mission Impossible.
It was for a long time,
Yeah.
too.
Yeah, because I remember, like when Mission Impossible 4 came out, that was like the year of like people saying, what's up with all these forquels? But
What was it, like 4 or 5? It was like 5 or 6 years later, something like that.
yeah, it was long enough,
Yeah.
because it was like right around the time where like I think like they made like Fast and Furious 4 like all of a sudden too, because
Yeah,
like
they managed to somehow resuscitate that franchise from,
Yeah.
from the death.
I mean they kind of torched it from like 2, and then Tokyo Drift is cool though, but I know some people don't like that movie, but then they brought back like the main characters in number 4, and then it became what it became. But it's weird that Mission Impossible kind of had a similar trajectory to Fast and Furious, because we're like,
Just without the interim movie with none of the original people in it.
yeah, because like it had like the first one was fine, the second one was like not really well received, but then like they made a third one, then it kind of disappeared for a while, and then all of a sudden the fourth one was like, oh, it's back.
And it's better than ever. Holy crap.
Yeah. And I could be wrong, but I think like from the fourth one, like the fifth one was even better. So
That's what I heard. They like keep getting better
Yeah.
and better. I don't know. I'm like, oh man, if they're just better than this, cool.
Yeah.
I'm honestly more interested because I'm like, oh, they get better? Cool.
yeah, it's like, okay, now you know all the lore. So now you can watch the ones with the actual like directors that you're like, hey, I know that guy. He makes good movies. Like, I mean, John Woo makes okay movies, like, but
I
they're weird.
doves.
J.J. Abrams, it's weird that I've seen, I guess, 5 of his movies. Like,
I guess the only one of his I haven't seen is Super 8.
yeah, and I guess that's it. Like,
For now.
yeah, I guess so.
suppose.
He keeps. Yeah, I guess he's gonna make that Hot Wheels movie or whatever.
That seems like a movie he's producing.
Okay.
Supposedly he's about to team up with The Rock.
Oh, really?
Oh, they both need a win, I suppose.
Yeah. Okay.
The Rock needs a more competent director that he can have as be a yes man for him.
Yeah.
And J.J. Abrams is a very competent yes man.
Yeah.
He'll make a very competent movie that's fucking dreadful. But my God, is it well made. But it's fucking dreadful.
Yeah, I guess that's the thing with like J.J. Abrams too, where like it's just like I want to say like none of his stuff is like bad in a way where you get like angry at it, except for maybe Star Wars 9.
And maybe
But-
Into Darkness has its moments.
Yeah. I don't want to say like he's not as hated as like somebody like, like Michael Bay or like Zack Snyder,
Well, Michael Bay's stuff is very like messy.
Yeah.
And Zack Snyder's kind of pretentious.
Yeah.
Even though he also makes just like silly schlock.
Yeah, cuz
It's like it's fine if you're making silly stuff. Don't act like you're an art house, man.
yeah. Cuz like, I like Michael Bay, but like, it's kind of like J.J. Abrams kind of gets like, put in that category with those directors just cuz like they all made like genre stuff for like a long period of time.
Yeah.
And especially with like Zack Snyder, who's like kind of like J.J. Abrams, who's kind of like exclusively made genre stuff.
More or less.
Yeah, I don't think like Zack Snyder's made anything that's like here's like a regular movie about a guy that works at like a store
No.
or something,
He did make that weird animated movie about owls.
That's right.
That's like his weird, like, what?
I hear that movie is actually one of his better movies though.
I don't know.
So
But it's like one of the that sticks out.
yeah, the Owls of Ga'Hoole or whatever.
What? You look
Shit.
at the rest of his movies, you're like, this sticks out like
Yeah.
a sore thumb.
But yeah, Mission Impossible 3, it was like the end of the Mission Impossible franchise for a good long time, and then they came back.
Unless it was only like 4 years, then it wasn't that long at the time.
Yeah, who knows? I mean, it also kind of was like, you know, like I always think of like the Bourne Identity movies around this time too, which like they also like randomly made like a fourth one later on too, but then it never
there was
continued.
There was also one in between.
Oh, that's right, the Legacy one.
Yeah.
Yes, which I never saw, but
I never saw
Yeah.
the fourth one.
I saw the fourth one. It was okay, but those first three are great, except for like the shaky cam stuff, which is terrible. It's always terrible. I don't know why it became such a thing.
Because of Jason Bourne.
Yeah, for a while, it's not cool. It's dumb. You can't understand what's happening.
It's awful.
But-
Nobody likes it.
Yeah, but I guess that's one good thing about Mission Impossible 3. There's not really any shaky cam stuff.
No.
It's weird that this is still going on from like a TV show from like the 60s or 70s.
60s.
Yeah.
Good
And
figure.
that theme, I love that Mission Impossible theme.
It's a good theme.
It's a great theme. Like it's like one of the best things that they like kept from the original show, I guess.
It's like they kept that.
Yeah.
Mask disguises. This message will self-destruct.
Yeah. It's kind of funny at the beginning of the movie where he has like the camera and it's like, this will self-destruct in 5 seconds, and he's just like, it's not gonna explode that bad. Just like smokes, and he's just like holding it. Like,
It's a little Kodak camera.
I know. Just would have been like hilarious if he like had to throw it and it just exploded his garage. And his wife's like, "What was that?" It's like nothing. But yeah, Mission Impossible 3 is pretty good though.
It's solid.
Yeah.
It's fairly solid. It's decent enough. Does make me curious about the next one because it's better.
Yeah.
So
And I guess with that being said, that's the Out of Touch podcast for this week.
stop making movies, JJ. Just make one. Never make a sequel.